opinions expressed on this program are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect those of Vegas Allnet Radio, its affiliates, or its parent company.
Well, good evening, everybody. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Las Vegas and welcome around the world. It's 8 p.m. Pacific time Tuesday night, and it's time to grind, which means it's time for the American Mind Grind. And here they come, your host of the show, Eric, Jeff, and Matt, everybody.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is Wednesday, September 2nd. You're about to witness the American Mind Grind, a controversial talk show that talks all sizes, shape, and color, where, please be advised, this show will make your brain hurt. If you feel faint of heart or liver, it suggests you consult a physician before participating. Others may consider a glass of water and 2 Advil to lower your blood pressure. You will have to think. Your mind will get addicted to our program. We bring it to you straight and do not duck any of the issues. Although it may hurt, this show is good for you. We all must be aware of our surroundings and understand what is happening in this crazy world that we live in. Remember, comments of this show are that of opinion only. We are not professionals and will not be held responsible for the stupid things you might do after listening to the show. Eric, Matt, you guys ready to go?
We sure are.
Absolutely.
You ready to go over there, Matt?
Yeah.
Awesome. How was your week, brother?
It was good, man. You know, it's starting to get under 100 degrees, which is great for me because I ride a motorcycle.
Amen.
A wise
Under
man once
100.
told me, don't tell anyone about your problems because half the people don't give a shit and the other half are glad you got them. So I really can't complain.
That's really cool. Oh, man. I've had an interesting week. The show has allowed us to reconnect with people, right, Jeff? We've reconnected with friends from the past. It's been incredible, man. I used to live in Spring Valley. I've talked to friends from Spring Valley, New York, and Rockland County. And then my friends in Westfield have been all supportive about the show. And then, of course, our friends at Club Sport, that we used to work together. Jeff and I used to work together at Club Sport in Green Valley. And one in particular, our friend Paul Roberts, we ran into him. We were able to go over and see Paul. He is the owner-operator of Major Power Sports. They are located at 6545 West Sahara at Torrey Pines. The phone number there is 702-798-1024. Now, here's the deal. I don't ride on motorcycles, okay? Eric's not coordinated enough, and quite frankly, I like to live. So, now these two fools here, they both are motorcycle enthusiasts. They have been forever. So, if you're out there and you're a motorcycle enthusiast, you need to speak with Paul. Paul's place, Major Power Sports, they buy bikes, they sell bikes. They consign bikes, they service bikes, they sell accessories. So if you go down there and talk with Paul, he'd be more than happy to sit with you and take care of any one of your needs. And it's just a wonderful establishment. He and his wife run it. They're wonderful people. And if you get a chance, go down there and see Paul and say that you were listening to American Mind Grind and that, friends of the show type of thing. And then, of course, the other thing is I found out this week that my son, who's already had 3 surgeries on his left arm, he broke his left arm on monkey bars. So those of you who have children out there, God, tell your kids to be careful with the monkey bars. They get you every time. Anyway, he's already had 3 surgeries on his left arm, and we just got word that he's going to have an additional surgery in a couple weeks. And Ethan's my hero this week. My son is my hero. He is completely not afraid. When they run IV, he actually watches it. He's going to miss 2 days of school, and he doesn't care if you cut his arm off for that. You know what I mean? So I dedicate this show to Ethan. Every single show that I ever do on the American Mind Grind to my son. He's love of my life, and being his dad is the greatest accomplishment of my lifetime. So I love you. Good luck in your surgery. I'll be there before and after.
Ethan's a stud.
Ethan is a stud, dude. You don't
buddy.
care. Jeff, how about you? What's going on with you?
My week was good. I got to talk to somebody who's very near and dear to my heart up in northern Idaho, Mo. I think you met Mo. You remember her. She's up in northern Idaho, and they're having fires up there like crazy. Like, they've had these fires for a long time, and last I read, they only had them 17% contained, and they were bringing in firefighters from Canada and all the bordering states and people volunteering their time. And it's totally crazy. So I want to send a shout out to her and everybody in northern Idaho. I hope you're safe. Like, these fires are like burning houses, like just making their way through like it's nothing. That somebody was quoted as saying that the forest up there is just explosive, to where it's got so dry and then lightning strikes and it starts these fires. So they're evacuating homes and everything. So she's very close to it, and she has friends that are in it. And so I hope she's doing good. And I want to send a shout out to Logan, her son Logan, a belated happy 16th birthday. 16 out there driving a car.
Happy birthday, Logan.
Happy birthday, Logan.
I know he listens to the show, yeah?
He listens. Yeah, I think he's heard all 3 shows.
Also?
Yeah, I
That's
think he listens
great.
all the time.
That's
He likes our
terrific.
intro more than anything. So
You were telling me with the disclaimer, right?
yeah, he likes the disclaimer more than any
is
part
pretty
of our
funny.
show. So
Yeah.
so happy belated 16th to Logan. And what else I do this week? I went to the concert. I went to Big and Rich. I saw Matt.
I saw you
Yeah,
there.
I saw Matt at Big and Rich. And, you know, we want to send a shout out to all our fans. It's cool to have fans, but I mean, Matt and I were walking around that place, and girls are like tearing our clothes and wanting
It was insane.
autographs
Oh, yeah.
and photos, and
Yeah.
it's cool, but don't go too far. Like, you know, we're on the American Mind Grind. That's cool. It's all good. We love you. We love everybody.
You're
but
so full of shit.
don't
beat 'em
tear
off
my
with a stick.
tear our right, Matt. Where they're not tearing our clothes.
It was
and
insane.
Pictures and
Oh, God.
autographs.
Paparazzi
and-
already, huh?
Oh my gosh.
You
gotta
guys,
get-
how do you even stay, like, grounded?
I don't know. We need a limo with tinted windows so they can't tell who's inside. You know.
Matt, just going back real quick. I know you have friends up there.
I do.
Please talk about your friends.
I have a lot of friends on the fire line right now. I'd just like to throw, a special shout out to them. Thoughts and prayers. They're busting their ass up there. So it's a rough season for them. It really is.
It's a tough job, isn't it?
It is, absolutely. And they're working their ass off to get that fire put out. All the fires. I mean, the West is on fire right now, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So
It is crazy.
special
It's real
shout out to all
crazy.
those
And
guys.
most of these people that are fighting the fires are volunteers. They're not even getting paid. They're like, let's go out there and try and save our house and our family. And when it's that bad, it's that bad. You can't do really
So
much.
they are, in fact, heroes as well.
Absolutely.
And we do
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
them. And, thank God. So the week is in the books. And I'll give it back to Jeff at this point, yeah?
Yeah,
Where are
I
you
mean,
taking us,
It's
Jeff?
crazy. The fires are crazy, but that's like a God-given thing. Like, it gets dry, lightning strikes, starts a fire, and now there's fires everywhere. And so that's just a freak of nature. That's like not like anything you control. As to where somebody's mind might be crazy and it might be a freak, like that Duger guy.
Oh,
Like,
God.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you guys heard about that, right?
Yeah, Josh Duger.
Josh Duger.
Tell us
Like,
a little bit about him,
He's a
Matt.
freak, right?
Yo.
He is a freak. So going back to March of 2002, right? Jim Bob, good old Jim Bob's dad in Arkansas. He's running for a Senate seat in the race. But apparently Josh, is it Duggar or Duger?
Duger. I heard
Duger.
Duger.
Yeah.
Duger?
I'm going to call him
Let's
Duggar.
go with Duger.
I'm
So-
going to call him scumbag.
Dumger.
There you go. That's probably the best thing. He, I don't know how old he is at the time, but he had molested 5 girls, and they kind of bury it because he's in a Senate race. His father is.
It was 4 of the sisters, wasn't
4 of them were his sisters. Correct.
it? Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Why go to the mall when you can go across the hall, huh?
So then,
Sick fucking people, man. I'm serious, dude. Okay,
The
go ahead,
dad,
I'm
Well,
did that?
no, the son. The
Oh,
dad
this-
was
this
running for
guy,
the Senate.
the son,
Josh
the
Duger.
Duger kid.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but then in May in 2002, Jim Bob loses the race for the Senate. Basically, what happens then, it all comes out to the family, and they kind of still keep it under wraps because they're working a reality TV show deal and all this stuff, 14 kids and pregnant. So they send him to a church camp.
Right.
For a month, 1 month.
How are they able to keep this under wraps? They live in their own little world, don't they? Those dirty birdies.
Back in the holler in
And-
Arkansas.
I'm serious, man.
They do.
And how are they escaping judicial process? You know, I mean, he raped children. You know what I mean? And they were able to put him in a church camp. It's all
camp.
good. We take care of our own.
Where he went through manual labor and
Right.
religious counseling. So then
Right.
he gets out, and then good old Jim Bob tells a police officer where they live what
Right.
happened. The police officer gives him a stern talking to. Same police officer, coincidentally, is serving 56 years in prison for child porn.
Oh my
so
God!
kind of just like
dirty bird.
jacked up situation in Arkansas.
Wow.
But so then in 2004 they start filming 14 Kids and Pregnant.
Okay.
So that's kind of how his claim to fame came, was from this
So does
reality TV
polygamy
show.
play into this at all, or no?
No, because then 14 Kids and Pregnant eventually evolved into 19 Kids and Counting, which is they just got canceled when these allegations just surfaced like a month ago.
This
months
woman
ago.
had 19
So
children.
there's one wife. There's one woman.
Yeah.
One mom. But
Yeah.
my question is, at
That's
what
a breeder.
point-
That's a breeder. Dad always called her a breeder.
How do you call her a breeder?
You got
She's
good
a
white
keeper.
hips on you.
at
You're
what
gonna be a breeder. I'm sorry.
Like it or not.
At what point between 14 Kids and Pregnant and 19 Kids and Counting do they just start plopping out, falling right on the floor?
I didn't even know I was pregnant. Gosh. This
It's
one just
Wednesday. I
came-
can't believe I didn't have a baby.
Jim Bob, you better get in here and chew through this umbilical cord.
So where do we go
Wow.
now? He's involved with this Ashley Madison thing.
He
Big
was.
time.
He
He's like
was.
the highest
So
profile.
he's
guy.
one of the kids of the million.
the Duger.
Of the 19,
Yeah,
yeah.
19,
He's the
20.
oldest, I believe, the oldest son.
And now he's got fetishes or sexual deals or what?
Correct. He got busted on the Ashley Madison count and just totally outed himself,
geez.
apologized, started weeping on TV and all that stuff. So
After he got busted.
correct.
You know, and this kind of spawned some thought process for me, and I'd like to share with you guys some of the fetishes that I found that are out there. Like the Duger guy, he's way out there. He likes to get dressed up. He likes to do all this stuff. You know what I mean? But what I found was, I found that there's a lot of celebrities that actually have some really strange fetishes, including Scarlett Johansson. She likes to have sex in cars. Nick Lachey, he likes to dress up in Jessica Simpson's outfits, including her shoes, walk around the house. He told that to Elle magazine.
Him and Lady Boy Jenner.
Russell
have something
Brand,
in
the dude
common.
in what the hell is that? Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah.
That dude's he's funny, man.
He is.
I like
He is
that
pretty
dude.
funny.
He likes to watch porn that is involved with wheelchair sex. That's what gets him off.
Wow.
But you gotta have a wheelchair,
sex.
dude. You know it's his deal, not mine.
In,
I guess we can't judge.
in his defense, I have seen Freddie Got Fingered, where he's whacking her in the shins with that cane.
Yeah.
I could handle that.
You can get down with that?
So if you're in a
someone with
wheelchair, if the
cane-
dude's in a wheelchair, he's having sex with a woman, but he can't do. He's restricted to the wheelchair.
I guess so.
So
man.
that's a fantasy.
That's his deal. I'm telling you, this is what he likes. He told the U.S. Weekly that he likes to watch porn with wheelchairs.
So what do you do if you're in a wheelchair having sex with a girl? Just spin her like a top?
I think you do a wheelie.
Do a wheelie.
You gotta be creative at the very least.
Down wheelie.
Russell Brand's a freak, dude.
But so he likes to watch that.
Yes,
Dude
that
in
gets him
wheelchair
off.
having sex with a girl.
Right.
And
yes,
that's a fantasy.
That's pretty much what I read.
Does
man.
it matter
Wow.
who's in the wheelchair? I guess it
Just-
kind of
it
would.
just-
There's only one way that could work, I guess.
Probably the more decrepit, the better.
The older and the uglier? I don't know. I don't know what he prefers
Wow.
aesthetically for the guy. I have no idea.
And
But
he publicly came out and was like,
basically, Russell lost me at the wheelchair sex thing. So, all right. So here we go, guys. Let's continue. This is important news. Ricky Martin.
stuff.
Ricky Martin is openly endorsed golden showers. He's a golden shower guy.
meaning
Giving
you
or
get
receiving?
Urinating on each other.
PP'd on.
Yeah, he likes the difference between the temperature of the body and the urine. Whatever.
He
whatever floats your
recently
boat.
he came out and said he's gay, right?
Yeah.
Came
Is
out
he?
of the closet.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Like we didn't assume
continuing the list,
Yeah, okay,
Eva
who else?
Longoria, who is a hot, super
She's
hot,
hot.
Anthony Parker's ex, right?
Yep.
She likes tied up with bondage with silk. It's got to have silk.
So soft.
So soft when you get tied up, you know what I mean? And then lastly, and not least, I'm sure everyone, all the guys out there are probably fantasizing. Angelina Jolie, prior to her marriage with Brad Pitt, was huge into S&M. Unbelievable. Now, I did some more research. I went deeper into this, guys. And there's actually, in New York City, there's actually a thing called foot hookers, okay? And what they do is there are men that pay a $100 entrance fee, and then they pay up to $200. And what they do is they lick and worship women's feet.
I don't even like being touched by feet. It sicks me out.
I know, me too. If something touched my foot, I jerk it back. I'm like, no, that's not.
Now I have to hold on just one second. I have to talk to you guys, man. This is just it's the right time and the right place. As American Mind Grind's growing, I just don't want you guys to find out about me and some of my fetishes without me telling you up front. You know, you guys are my close friends. I appreciate you.
You got weird fetishes?
I do have a username, yeah. It's Daddy Cakes.
Oh.
Daddy Cakes.
Daddy Cakes. That's why I go by.
Wow.
Okay.
So basically, I'll just tell you guys because you're my friends and everyone out there, because I don't want you to find out down the road about this. But it turns out I like diapers, and I suck on a binky, and I get spanked. Now, Jeff knows I got a little Reese's monkey. His name is Geppetto.
I know Geppetto, yeah, for years.
Been around for years.
Geppetto.
What we do with Geppetto is we put a little lime green thong on a little Geppetto, and we just dance around in circles like fools. You know what I mean? Just singing, dancing, hanging out. And then every once in a while, for no goddamn reason at all, I slap the ever-living shit out of that monkey.
I didn't know that about Geppetto.
Right? And basically, the crowd goes crazy. Can't get enough of the shit. Like, I should bottle it, you know what I mean, and sell the shit. So basically, it's diapers, binky, Geppetto, lime green thong, sing, dance, slap.
Slap him crazy.
That's how I get down.
Runs
That's a
around.
wrap.
That's how I get down.
See, I knew that about Geppetto. I didn't know the rest of it about it. Sometimes there's a line of cars from here to California. The girls are coming to see him and Geppetto do their little show. I never knew.
The lime green thong is a showstopper every
right,
time.
Right. That
I could
leopard
see
print.
that.
Why are you looking at me like that?
I
You
don't know.
fucking
Right,
judging
yeah,
me,
what's up?
bro?
You
No,
judging?
I'm just- I got
are
a
you
good
offended?
Friends don't
Are you
judge,
offended
bro.
by all of a
Friends
sudden you're
do not judge.
rethinking the
Do you have a
whole
little
show?
bonnet that you wear with the diaper?
I'm shutting this.
Show's over.
Word from administration.
I'm
the show's
offended.
over.
I'm offended.
Thank you
Shut
for
it
listening to
down.
American Mind Grind. We'll see you next Wednesday.
All right.
All right.
If
Sorry,
you guys have weird freak show stuff or
Yeah.
fantasy stuff or fetishes like Eric, call in 702-483-4444. Right now, we have a caller engineering saying
Slappy.
Slappy is on line one. Slappy, welcome to the American Mind Grind.
Hey guys, I just want to say I'm a long-time fan, first-time caller.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for
Is your
calling.
birth
Thanks
name
for
Slappy?
Thanks for
listening.
following us for the last 3 weeks.
What's going on? What's going on out there tonight, Slappy?
I don't know. I mean, is this like this is like a kind of a self-help thing too, isn't it? I mean, like if I have a problem, can I talk to you guys about it?
Well,
Kind of
goddamn
thing?
right.
Oh yeah, man.
fetish.
Self-help all
Are
night.
you guys there for me and shit? I mean, like, you know.
Anything we can handle, we'll help you with. Anything else, we'll turn over.
I don't know.
To
I mean-
engineering. Engineering's got all kinds of stuff for you. But what's up, man?
Got it. Well, shit. This is kind of awkward too because I was thinking, I really thought I was coming into that plumbing show.
Oh, Aqua Plumbing.
Aqua plumbing.
Yeah.
Aqua Plumbing is a good show, bro.
They're huge. Big, mad love to Aqua Plumbing, and but I think I don't know. I have this thing, and I don't know if it's a problem yet or not. You know, like at what point does your fetish become a problem? You know,
Yeah.
Spit it out.
is okay. Well, I mean, I'm a foot guy myself. You know, right? And I've been in the closet about it for years. You know, but I thought this would be the time to come out, you know, and I myself am a foot guy and, you know, like flip-flops and painted toenails and all that shit, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then it got to the point where that didn't do it for me anymore, you know. It's to the point where, like, I need your feet to stink and I need painted toenails.
Yeah.
How do you feel about bunions?
You know, I'm not opposed to bunions. I mean,
Matt.
What do you
No.
think about this thing? I got a question for you. What do you think about this
it's
foot
about
hooker
the
thing in New York
uniqueness
City?
Of the foot,
Yeah,
you know?
I get that.
Understand?
So you would be a person that would frequent the foot hooker place in New York where you don't even see the girl. She just has a beautiful
Oh.
foot, and you go for $200 and lick her toes.
No, you lick and worship
Right.
her. But the
that
thing
totally
is,
works for me because I don't want to even. I mean, I really don't even want to talk to the damn women. I just want to lick her toes. So that's
no, I get that.
200's
I
a
get.
little
No,
pricey,
I
I mean.
understand. It might not even be a problem, but that's all the way in New York City. I'll tell you what, we can handle this right here. You can give me $5. You can lick the shit out of my toes.
For $5?
$5, bro.
Are you going to wear the
I don't
diaper?
know. I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I don't know if your toes. I don't know if your big hairy fucking Fred Flintstone feet toes do it for me. I'm just saying I need cute toes. Is what I'm saying.
I was just kidding, dude.
I just called Eric out to
I
lick his
thought
toes
about
for
it.
$5.
Slappy,
and he
thank
wouldn't
you
let
for
it
your
happen.
call. You know, I don't think you have a
Slappy.
problem. You know,
Slappy your
Is
stage name or
that
your
a
real name?
problem or is it a fetish? I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
What do you
That's
guys
what
think?
we're here to discuss tonight.
if it's
is-
consuming you during the day, seek counseling. I don't know what to tell you.
It's starting to consume my mind a lot. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want it to be a problem. Is all.
Maybe.
I don't think it's a
No,
problem, bro.
I'm glad you
Feet-
called in because we can't understand that people would line up to do this, or let alone pay money to lick someone's foot. And
I'm looking for some Boulder Highway foot for like, I don't know, like
We
$20.
got wrap up.
I'm
We
like,
got wrap
can I get some Boulder Highway feet?
I think I got
yeah.
your solution.
Thank you very much, Slappy.
Slappy.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
calling in.
Well,
Thanks for
yeah.
listening, man. I'm glad you were able to share your foot fetish fantasy with us.
We
tonight.
appreciate you. Okay,
So
You should
okay,
just get
so
a job selling women's shoes.
right? Yeah,
Done
get
deal.
to touch them all plenty.
for free.
All
Okay.
free.
Moving forward.
But I'm pretty sure if you licked him, you'd get fired. All right, Slappy or whatever his real name is. It must be a stage name, but so apparently there are people out there that have weirdness, like foot fetishes and the Dunger guy, and I mean, I even heard there was a cheerleader that slept with a young dude. Like,
Oh, what a great story this is. Oh, my goodness.
Molly Shattuck.
like that's got to be weird, right?
Matt, take us there. Molly Shattuck.
So she was 47 years old at the time, okay? She was facing a charge of 4th-degree rape. Basically what happened is she gets recruits her 15-year-old son to pass a love letter to another 15-year-old that's her son's buddy.
Okay.
That says, call my mom, she thinks she's hot. So she sets this guy up for about 3 months,
Wow.
this young kid. Finally takes him on vacation with her son. And basically gives him 2 Hummers. Basically.
Two blowjobs.
Job that you drive.
No
No
intercourse. No intercourse.
No
for the
intercourse
record.
whatsoever.
Okay.
Just 2 Hummers.
A BJ.
That was it. 2 BJs.
Right. Now,
Okay.
a lot of people out there, are like, this is the luckiest kid in the world. But I will tell you, his parents were pissed. I mean, his parents were angry and wanted to the letter of the law her to be punished for what she had done. So she openly recruited this kid to
She
have
did,
a sexual
through her own
relationship
child.
with him.
Through
Through-
her own
through-
child.
Used
own
her kid
kid.
as bait.
That's correct. So basically, he's an accessory in many ways, but
He's an
neither
accomplice.
here nor there, accomplice or whatever. I'm sorry.
So what's how old's the kid?
The kid's 15 at the time.
15 years old, yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay, so what was the sentencing? What happened? I know this went on.
They threw
and-
the book at her. So for every other weekend, not weekday,
right
she has to check into jail
Okay.
every other weekend.
every other weekend.
And she's not allowed to be around any other minors except for her own children.
What's the term? How long?
2 years. So
2
52
years.
weekends.
Okay, so
So
woman,
that's no big deal. Who cares?
we got to do a summation. Woman has oral sex with a 15-year-old,
Correct.
and for her sentence, okay, and recruited her son to recruit the kid, and got 2 years of every other weekend in jail.
So that's like probation. Like
Well, she's got to check in this and that, but I want everyone out there to think about this. Please close your eyes and think about this. Let's flip the story. It's a 47-year-old man and a 15-year-old girl. Do you
Right.
think that the sentence would have been every other weekend for
no,
2 years?
No, absolutely
Lynch
not.
mob.
They would hang him. They would hang him.
It'd be 20 to life.
That's sexist.
It'd be 20 to life, and that is the reality of it. It's just funny that that's how society perceives something like this. You want to go to a phone call?
Yeah, let's
Jeff?
take a phone call.
Well, you got Deanna standing by. Go ahead, Deanna. You're on the mind grind.
Hi, Deanna. Good evening. How are you?
Hi.
Welcome. Deanna,
Hi,
are
caller,
you still there? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Deanna
she
checked
didn't want to
out.
hang tight. She said something about that she didn't have Boulder Highway feet. I don't know what kind of feet she had, guys.
She's in Summerlin.
Fremont
whatever.
Street's a little
Yeah,
further
high
north.
class.
They're in Summerlin. No bunions in Summerlin. Boulder Highway got bunion.
Yeah. So do you see the perception
Yeah.
of this?
That's
This is
crap.
absolutely a double standard. 100%.
Yeah, totally, 100%. Like she gets off because she's a woman.
No, no. And I don't want anyone out there to say that she got off. Number one, restitution was how much, Matt?
$84,000 or $10,000 restitution, $84,000 for the bond out of jail. So apparently cheerleading was her wrong profession if she's given $94,000.
So 2 blowjobs cost her $47,000 per blowjob.
Correct.
Okay, all right, well,
Correct.
She's a giver.
And she,
Good Lord.
how hot is it? I haven't even seen this girl. Is she hot?
Oh, she's an ex-Ravens cheerleader, bro.
Yeah. But she was the oldest cheerleader in NFL history up until that point.
Right,
So-
right.
So she
really
had
was.
passed her prime, but she's still hot and likes little boy.
Oh, she's a pretty gal. Yeah, no question
yeah,
about it.
you're right. No, if a dude was in that situation at that age, they'd hang him.
Oh,
They'd hang him.
absolutely. So, and that's what you want. And also, she has to register as a sex offender. I mean, she's
In 2 different
she's
states.
screwed. Her life is screwed over this. We don't want you to think out there that we are saying that she's unscathed. I mean, her life has been affected irreparably forever over this.
Because she got caught.
But if it was a guy, my thing is that if it was a guy, he'd be looking at 20 years. You know what I mean? And real significant.
So do you
penalties.
think with her, it's some kind of weird fetish that she likes younger dudes. And
her defense attorney claimed that because her husband, who was a huge CEO of a power company for Pennsylvania, Illinois, this guy's worth millions, claimed that because he left her for a younger woman, it messed with her psyche. So that was what her thing was.
That's a convenient
So I say all the
defense.
time, women like adventure and security. So she had the security. She was looking for a little adventure, went a little too far with it.
Well, no,
Hooked
the
up with
security
little
was
buddy.
lifted out from under her.
Yeah, he left her.
Big Daddy left.
Oh, he left.
Big
He was
Daddy
done.
left
It's
for a
over.
younger woman, a better model or whatever, newer model. He was sick of that model, and now she's so traumatized that she decided that she wanted to have a relationship with a kid under 18 years
So
old.
she was just dazed and confused.
But her own son is the
Something
same
along those
age
lines.
too. That's what's really throwing me off here. That's just some crazy.
Well, that made the connection. That's what made it real. Is you could use the little buddy as a bait.
As the messenger, don't shoot the
Yeah.
messenger.
Hey, little Bobby coming over again tonight.
Little Bobby. Little Bobby.
You need to take your diamond tap, son.
All right, so I mean, I think it's fun to laugh at and it's
just
cool to
sick.
make jokes
It's
at.
just
But
sick. That was a
at
good
the end
one.
of the day,
That was a
like
good one.
Eric shared with us earlier, his little freakish he's got going over here, which we're gonna have to talk about that later. By the way,
That sounds like judging
we might
again. That
need
sounds
to
like judging again.
Renegotiate the.
I told you guys in confidence.
and confidence. We're live in front of 500 people, like 500,000.
500,000.
Again, don't judge. Friends, don't judge.
Right. So it makes you think that maybe we're all a little bit crazy. Maybe we should stop judging so many people, so much stuff going on. We're all a little bit crazy. I mean, like Eric's a freak. Like, I don't know. I saw on the news earlier the Superfly Snuka is a freak. Like, everybody's a freak.
Oh, he's a killer.
Well, he's a killer.
He's a killer.
We're switching gears here. For those of you who don't know, Jimmy Superfly Snuka is one of the greatest wrestlers in WWF history. This was during the golden age of wrestling. This is Andre the Giant, Sergeant Slaughter, Big John Studd,
Hulk Hogan,
of course,
Roddy
Hulk Hogan,
Piper.
Roddy Piper, Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff, Ric Flair, all the big ones.
Junkyard Dog, woo woo.
Yeah, and he's a Hall of Famer. He's actually in the Hall of Fame for professional wrestling. And 32 years ago, he was involved with the death of an ex-girlfriend. He was married. He had 4 children with his wife, but had an affair with this woman. And things went terribly bad, and as a result of it, he is now facing charges. Matt, what's the charges over there?
Third-degree murder.
Third-degree murder, and he also is facing involuntary manslaughter. Now, the victim here is Nancy Argentino. She died in 1983. The injuries were consistent with like a moving head striking a stationary object. If you know, like you fall back, you bang your head on a end table or something along those lines. Something along those lines. But in reality, she had injuries to her head, ears, chins, arms, hands, buttocks, legs, and feet.
How'd they know they didn't just jump on her off the top turnbuckle? You know,
That
what I
sounds
mean?
like a
maybe they
top-
got in a wrestling match. and she got the
Superfly
SmackDown,
Snuka deal?
yeah.
Well, you don't know that, you know, and the deal was that they were somehow able to escape these charges. He was the only person of interest in the story, and for whatever reason, the prosecutors never filed formal charges against him. However, her family, the Argentino family, did recover a judgment against him for wrongful death suit 2 years later. This reminds me just like O.J. Simpson.
Right.
So even though he didn't go to jail to kill Jessica and the other guy, the lover, he still lost in a civil lawsuit. Yeah, no, was it Cato? No, it was the
Cato
other
worked
guy.
for him, right?
Yeah, I forget the guy's name,
Yeah.
but it just reminds me of that. You know, where you don't lose a criminal case, but civilly you lose in court and you lose a judgment, and they come after money. The families come after money. It's so weird to me because if one shouldn't even be a case at all. You know, if you win in the criminal court, then how could you have a civil lawsuit? I've never understood
Without
that.
a reason of a shadow of doubt or something like that. Isn't that what it is?
Yep.
What's weird to me though is
Sure.
the original autopsy was actually declared a homicide.
Is that
Way
right?
back then, it was declared a homicide. Yes, and he also never paid a dime of the $500,000 settlement. He said he
So-
was too broke.
What's he claiming
All
happened?
that cocaine and alcohol and steroids he was
Yeah,
on.
he
They're
was.
all broke. They're all those guys are broke, and they all die at like 50 or 60 from the steroids. They have heart attacks.
Well-
so what's he claiming happened? What
I will
what's
tell
his
you. I will
story?
tell you. I was just going to say that He said they were traveling in Allentown, and they pulled over on a highway, and they did a bathroom stop, and somehow she fell, and she hurt her head, ears, chins, arms, hands, buttocks, legs, and feet. Apparently, she fell down the Grand Canyon. So Allentown, turns out that there is a Grand Canyon in Allentown that she fell through. So that is what he claimed, that she accidentally fell, knocked her head, and then as a result of that residual damage, traumatic injury, she actually died later. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. My whole thing is he's 72 years old. He's just been diagnosed with stomach cancer. How much longer does the guy have? I mean, stomach cancer is a terribly painful way to die. Is it even worth wasting the taxpayers' dollars to even charge him?
It's a
You
great
might as
point.
well. You
Let
might as
alone
well.
all the
If
medical
you're on your way out,
expenses.
you might as well kill
Matt,
someone.
that's a great point. And, there's two schools of thought here, okay? You got a 72-year-old guy. He's dying of cancer. He's been accused of a crime 32 years ago. Now, number one, you got to think, he's lived with this. So if he was irresponsible, okay, he's had to live with the guilt. Now, I don't believe in higher power necessarily, but now he's got stomach cancer. That's a pretty miserable way to go.
Right.
Karma.
Now,
might believe in karma.
My school of thought is, now it's my personal perspective. Everyone out there has got perspective, and that's what the show's about, is discussion. My perspective is that if you do the crime, you do the time. And I don't care if he's 150 years old. If he murdered that woman, even though that the maximum penalty here is 7 years, he should have to do some sort of time and pay for his indiscretions. That's my personal opinion.
I think that's probably a good idea to make him pay the civil suit that he lost to $500,000, because obviously he's going to have royalties once he dies. Once these celebrities die,
Agreed.
They make a ton of money. Someone's going to write a book.
He's hiding money. He's only worth $200,000 on paper.
Right.
I already looked up his net value, and it's not there. Yeah, it might be. I think it's in holes in his backyard, to be honest with you, or mattresses. But that's neither here nor there. But we wanted to present the story to you because we really thought it was interesting. You think he should be prosecuted? You think they should wait till money to do it? He's 72. He's got stomach cancer. He'll just die on his own. You know what I mean? In no time flat.
And from reading from when she died, she had, yellow ooze coming out of her nose and mouth. Sounds like it could be kind of a drug overdose. Maybe she smacked her head, started drinking with a concussion.
Well, he admits to the cocaine, the alcohol, and steroids. His life was out of control in 1983.
Absolutely.
He was at the height of his success. I think he was a champion at that time, and things got out of hand. Sounds like a really good party that just went awry.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fast.
I would totally like to have been there, other than the murder.
Must have been football Sunday.
Except for the murder, I had a really great time at Jimmy's house.
No, I know plenty of dudes that are big and ripped and on steroids, and their temper is very, very through the ceiling. Very
well,
hard
he
to
also
control.
had a domestic violence charge for beating her one time up before.
Oh,
too.
so it's a repeat offender.
Repeat thing, yeah.
So if you're a judge, you look in his eyes, and this guy's eyes are absolutely crazy, and you say, "You're guilty."
You're like, Nancy, what
You did
happened
it.
to you? Why is both your eyes black? Well, I fell down the steps.
I fell down the Grand Canyon.
And Jimmy's getting better. He's going to see counselor.
Right, he loves me.
He said he'll never do it again.
I
He
stay
loves
with
me.
him for the times that are good.
And all that good coke.
Which I'm sure was the cocaine and booze. Yeah.
All right, listen, we could talk about this flying freak all day, but we're at the halfway mark, so we're going to take our commercial break here for a little bit.
See you in a bit, guys.
We'll be right back with you.
Hi, this is Aaron Phillips, owner of Vegas All Net Radio. I want you to take a moment and imagine going to the doctor for a routine illness, and 7 weeks later, you come out of a coma, resulting in a broken body that continues to deteriorate. Listeners, this is the story of a girl named Jen. She is considered permanently disabled due to residual lung injuries.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the American Mind Grind. So a quick stoppage and everything. That last little commercial break was about Jen's Recovery Fund, which we covered last week. And we want to thank everybody out there who donated money. Like, it's incredible. She was ready to move out of her house. I didn't have enough money for pay rent. And thanks to everybody out there, we've been able to raise enough money on Jen's Recovery Fund from our last show that she was able to pay her rent and her bills and I guess live another month comfortably, right?
Yeah, exactly. But guys, listen, the donations on the GoFundMe account, which is Jen's Recovery Fund, JEN' Recovery Fund. Guys, the donation start at $5, and it sounds silly, maybe to some of you, but $5 helps. If you can spare $5, that's a great start. You know what I mean? You can spare 10, 20 or more. Our friend Lisa Johnson, when we grew up together, when we were kids, she donated $500 to the account this week.
Very nice.
Now, would I say that you need to do that? Absolutely not. But if you have it and you're touched by her story, go ahead and do it. I mean, every dollar that she needs this money, you know, it really helps her in regards to her therapy, in regards to her monthly residual bills that she's got. So, you know, it can never be enough. Again, if it's $5 or more, just go ahead and do it. It really helps her. Okay, very good. Jeff?
Yeah, it's good stuff. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone, for.
And I know Jen's listening with her 15-year-old. And guys, thank you so much for listening to the show. And we're so happy to help you. And you know, by helping you, you've helped us too. You know, I mean, it's not a one-way street here. We were touched by your story. We continue to be touched by your story, and we're going to continue to help you as we go on and on over the next 47 shows.
Our thoughts and prayers are with you, Jen. Keep fighting.
Yeah,
we have a contract. We'll be here.
Yeah, we got to perform.
All right, so going back on the theme of the show tonight on freaks and craziness and talking about Eric being crazy and Matt being crazy and myself being a little crazy, and maybe we're all a little crazy, and maybe there's different levels of crazy. And, I mean, it brings up all the shootings that are going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of police getting shot.
Yep.
I mean, it brings up the topic of the live broadcaster that got shot on site. The guy filmed it, I guess, and put it on YouTube, and I mean, it's just crazy. You guys heard about that, right?
Yeah, good old Vester.
Vester Flanagan, right off the bat. If your name's Vester,
you're done.
You better learn
Dude,
to fight. It's like a boy named
You know
Sue.
you're going to be a social outcast, okay? It's like, you know.
Vester the molester.
Yeah, like your name's Dick or Richard, you know what I mean? It's just like
Vester.
a horror show, you know, right off the bat. So his name, his legal name is Vester Flanagan. He went by, he was a broadcaster, actually, with WDBJ out of Roanoke, Virginia. And his name on the air was Bryce Williams. So he's a former reporter and employee of the station. He was let go under circumstances, basically, from what I understand, he's just hard to work with. Something along those lines.
Terrible employee, basically, is what I read.
A terrible employee, abrasive with his co-workers, chip on the shoulder, which has been there for a very, very long time. So as a result of this, there was a live broadcast attack on two people that he used to work with. Their names were Adam Ward. He was 27 years old.
And Allison Parker.
He was a cameraman there. And Allison Parker, 24 years old, and she was the daytime broadcaster for the station. You want to tell me a little more about it, Matt?
This is just takes crazy to a whole nother level. So he basically gets fired. He writes a 23-page manifesto about how he was a gay black man and then he was bullied, and it really goes back to what I call the poor me complex of today's society. Poor me, poor me, poor me. I was bullied when I was a kid too, until I punched one guy right in the nose, and then it really ended. You know, if people realize they can't mess with you, then they're not going to.
Mm-hmm.
But
also, they're your friend.
Right. If he was bullied or wasn't bullied, really doesn't really justify his behavior. But he gets fired. He goes home and takes his two cats out into the woods, completely massacres them basically on camera. They have this on film. He idolizes the Virginia Tech shooter. He writes some crazy letters all around town about employees not saying thank you to him after he comes in and does business, that they should say thank you rather than have a nice day.
The narcissist also.
Basically.
Sounds like a narcissist.
Exactly. He was also a man whore, going back, to freaks and fetishes.
I heard something about that.
He was a man whore.
He was
Well,
a man
that
whore.
doesn't relate to anything. If you're, I mean, come on, man, give the man whore a break.
It lays down a history, Jeff.
I mean,
Well, he quoted
I'm a
in
man
his
whore, I'm gonna go
manifesto that his
snipe
lack
with
of
somebody.
sex is what also helped drive him to the edge.
Oh, the lack of sex.
Correct, because he stopped being a man whore.
So is it a wannabe man whore?
He was.
He was
He
a
was
man
getting
whore.
$2,000 a night allegedly as a man whore.
Wow.
So how did this thing go down?
I'm in the wrong profession.
Have you guys seen the video?
Yes,
It
of
is
course.
Yeah.
terribly
That's
disturbing.
And the video is interviewing. They were interviewing a lady, executive director of the Smith Mountain Lake Regional Chamber of Commerce. Her name is Vicki Gardner. Vicki Gardner is the only survivor of this attack. She was just shot in the back.
Right.
Yeah, and she actually is going to pull out. She's in stable condition now. The Adam Ward and Allison Parker were both shot dead on live television. The camera hits the ground. You don't see anything else. You just hear screaming. And as a result of this, the Vester Flanagan killed both of those people in cold blood. And he also filmed it as a point of view on his GoPro camera.
Correct. And then he put it on his Twitter account or Facebook or something like that and broadcasted it out. But he claims that he was attacked by black men and white females for being a gay black male.
Yep.
And then he also says that the Charleston shooting at the black church was his final tipping point. That's when he realized that he has to act.
He said that he was a powder keg, ready to just wanting to go boom. That's what he said. Actually, he described himself like that. I think the importance here is you've got a person that clearly has mental issues. Okay, emotional scarring. You have a long history of this. Now, a lot of people have been telling me all week that they would ideally like to see some sort of database. You know, now if somebody is suspecting that a child is being abused, you are obligated by law to report. Now, my point is like if you're at a employment situation or environment, and something like this happens and it's over and over, we have to establish something so that we can call in and then get it documented, start at least a history on someone. Now, I really don't know what the right or wrong answer is here, but this is the pushback that I've been getting all week, you know, and this is the feedback that I've been getting.
A lot of it has to do with the negative rhetoric being thrown around by the media and by these politicians. This country is so divided now, and he kind of bought into all of that, the racial stuff from what I've read, you know, and that kind of helped fuel his fire.
Yep.
You know, which doesn't get us anywhere. You know, I feel like the country is the most divided it's ever been in my lifetime, you know, between the haves and the have-nots. And that kind of is where he landed.
Well, and that's kind of where the media jumps on it and says we're losing the war on guns, and they jump on the story as to where, okay, here's another shooting, how many do we have to go through? And Hillary Clinton jumped out right away and said we've lost the war on guns. We've lost
it's a gun issue.
It's a gun issue. And again, you know, my boy Donald Trump stands up, and I like him more and more every week. He says it's not a gun issue. It's a psychological issue. This guy had a mental problem, and jobs before, you guys talked about the problems that he had in the workplace before. He had jobs before that had the same outcome, where they got rid of him because of his mental problem. And when he got fired from this job, they actually put in writing, they said, you need mental help.
Yes, they did suggest that.
Gotta go find somebody that can help you mentally.
He was physically escorted out of the station when they fired him.
Right,
and handed a wooden cross to to one of the administrators. Said something along the lines like, "You'll need this." So I mean, it's just, you know, all that, and you put it all together, and then you know eventually it's going to go boom.
Right, they knew that this was going to happen, and he pretended to move, and he stayed there for 2 years, and 2 years later the people in the station found out that he still lived there, and they were all disturbed by it. So it was starting to come to surface, like they knew it was going to happen, like this is going to happen. But today's society, we're so afraid to offend people and say, hey, you might have a problem, you know?
Like, and actually call them out.
There's so many different medical terminologies for people who are depressed or people who are going through things, and we're so afraid to point them out. I mean, it brings me to the school shootings. Like in the last few years, there's been 35 school shootings related to violence committed by those people who are under the influence of psychotic drugs or trying to get off of the psychotic drugs.
Right.
Like those drugs make you even more cuckoo than you are to begin with.
Yep.
But as long as someone's ringing the register and make the money, I mean, the pharmaceutical lobby is over 1,300 lobbyists, and they spend over $171 million last year in Congress trying to get their pharmaceutical drugs, their behavioral medicine pushed through. So if you got a kid who's cuckoo, instead of dealing with it and saying, hey, I've done a poor job raising this kid, let's just medicate the kid. And then these kids are the ones that are out there doing all the shootings. And forget the shootings. A lot of those 35 were stabbings or people blowing up buildings and stuff. It's not the gun. It's not a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, McVeigh never used a gun.
You're right.
Timothy McVeigh never used a gun.
Yeah.
At all.
No, that was a horrible thing. He's been put to death, hasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, he actually got capital. Yeah, he did.
He gone.
Yep. All right.
So, I mean, call me a genius, but I like to say the psychiatric meds are a prescription for murder. These kids get on these things, and I mean, the side effects say it right there. You might want to kill people. You might think about killing yourself or doing harm to others. And, I mean, this country is, you know, I read the other day that we average 13 prescriptions per person in this country.
Wow, that's powerful.
13 per person.
Wow.
Only 2 countries in the world who allow direct consumer advertising to the customer on TV.
Wow.
So they go to their doctor and they're like, oh, well, we want this. We saw it on TV. It's just, to me, it's just, that's what's crazy.
Yep. And then you've got the story that came out Friday, of course, in Cypress, Texas. Deputy Darren Goforth was ambushed and shot to death with a .40 caliber weapon by a man named Shannon Miles while filling his gas tank on duty. It was just awful. I mean, this is just executed, absolutely executed. Here's how.
Just because he's a cop.
That's yeah. Basically, there's no other explanation for it. Here's what happened, guys. Now, put yourself in this position. He goes out to his vehicle. This coward Shannon Miles goes up behind him. He's got a .40 caliber pistol, shoots him directly in the back of the head, which drops him. And then it wasn't good enough that he killed him point blank range. He then unloaded 15 total rounds into his dead body. So he basically died in a pool of his own blood.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't get worse than the things that you're hearing now. I mean, you know, every time I think that I've seen it all, it just continues.
This kind of goes back to that politicized rhetoric that I was telling you guys. Let's take this call real quick.
Yeah,
that's why we'll always have a show. There's always freaks and crazies out there doing stuff. So we got a caller. Caller, welcome to the American Mind Grind.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. How are you tonight?
Doing great. Hey, listen, I just have a comment about this whole Vester Flanagan thing. I think maybe it ties into these cop executions as well. You know, Jeff brings up a really, really good point about us medicating our kids instead of raising them right. And I really think that that it's a good point. I think that Matt talked last week about the pussification of
that's caught on
of kids these days, and I think that that's a good point as well. You know, we're teaching our kids that nobody loses, nobody wins, everything is equal, everybody ties, and then when somebody grows up and they get fired from a job because they don't get something that they think that they're entitled to, they don't know how to lose. Yeah. They don't know how to be gracious about that because they've never had to. Everybody gets a participation award, and it's ridiculous. And if they do something that's out of the ordinary at all, let's drug them and control them and fit them into this little box that politicians and school systems, and don't even get me started on core curriculum and all of that bullshit, but you know, trying to make little robot molds of our children, and then when they get out in the real world and they don't get hired for a job, they get fired from a job.
Yeah.
The girlfriend breaks up with them. They don't know how to handle it.
Yep, that rejection just becomes part of their life.
We're in a society that's entitled. Everyone's entitled. Do you know? Here's a funny stat. Since the 1980s, antidepressant meds are up 400%, and it's an $898 billion industry.
Wow. Wow, that's big. That's big, powerful stuff.
I mean, welcome to medicated country. You know, we just, instead of saying, you know, this is our problem and this is what we need to change, this is what we need to fix. Oh, just medicate them and let it go away.
Exactly.
Now, there's absolutely a problem with recognizing and treating legitimate mental illnesses, but I think we're creating falsely mental illnesses where none exist. They're really societal issues, not mental illness.
Right. It's way easier than looking in the mirror and saying, hey, I need to change something or I need to do something different. It's, oh, well, let's just blame it. Let's name it something like depression. Let's just call it depression. And instead of saying, you know, and with me, people who know me, they know I'm going to root that back to the food, the sugar, the fake sugar. It totally messes with the brain, and we're zombies running around eating whatever the commercials tell us to eat, and it leads to these diseases, you know, the mental diseases. And instead of saying, hey, maybe instead of giving my kid 3 Krispy Kremes and a chocolate milk every morning, you know, I'll just medicate him and say it's society's fault. It's a disease. I'll just call it something.
Mix in an apple is what you're saying. Okay. So anyway, we got to get back. Thank you so much for the call. We appreciate your call. Your perspective is wonderful. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that, too.
So, guys, if you're out there shooting these cops and you're running around doing these things, and I know most stations almost make you a hero. They broadcast it, and millions of people know your name, and you think that you did something. Well, you're just a freak like everyone else.
Jeff, I need to tell you this. This Shannon Miles guy, again, we're going back to history, guys. 30 years old. In 2012, he was arrested and charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon on a homeless man. He was considered mentally incompetent to stand trial. He was then referred to a 6-month therapy at Vernon State Mental Institution. So in 2012, you've got a attempted murder case, okay, that goes, it didn't even make it to trial. It didn't even make it to trial.
6 months
This
in a
man
mental
is a sick human being, man. And again, there's no database to keep track of these people. And just like you want to know what a pedophile is living next door to you, I want to know that Shannon Miles lives next to me too.
They're crazy.
You understand what I'm saying? Because to me, that's a really bad situation.
A lot of it's buying into the media's rhetoric, and I got some quick facts real fast.
Please do those.
From May, okay, these are people that were killed by police this year. As of May, 365 men were shot by police, 20 women. 171 of the males that were shot were white. 100 of them were black. 54 were Hispanic. 6 Asians. So that whole ninja training thing's working out for you guys. Keep that up.
Asians stay healthy.
Is it the broccoli?
It's the broccoli.
And
he keeps them out.
3 were other and 31 were unknown. Of the women, 9 whites, 5 blacks, 3 Hispanics, 3 unknown. So, and the age groups are kind of outstanding to me. 25 to 34, 118 deaths. 35 to 44, where you're well to know not to mess with the police, 62 deaths. So
those are some terrific facts. Thank you for bringing that to the show.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, where do we go from here? Like,
that's the question, Jeff. Where do you go from here?
We need a system. Like, are you a crazy on a scale of 1 to 10?
Yeah,
if this guy's an 8, we need to lock him up and get him out of society. And Donald Trump, like he's saying, there used to be psychiatric wards and places to send these people, and once they pass a level to where they're safe to society, they'd be released. But those have died out and they've gone away, and medication.
Well, it's not politically correct anymore.
Exactly.
You can't call a nut job a nut job.
You offend everybody.
Yeah. And that's what we want you guys to know out there. What's your thoughts on this? Is there a solution? If there's a solution, share it with us, because I would like to share it with everybody. There might not be a right or wrong, but hopefully we can get some sort of game plan together to be able to recognize these people and to be proactive, not reactive, but proactive in regards to protecting ourselves, be more considerate of our surroundings.
It's too many times someone has to lose their life to do anything.
That's the sad thing.
Terrible.
That is the deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes another show. As we adjourn here tonight, we'll leave you this beautiful song to help calm your nerves. As you fall asleep, think of all the things you've heard on tonight's program. Try to relax, let all thoughts become one. Remember, your brain is a muscle and you must exercise it. Practice logical thinking, and for God's sakes, man, be kind to each other. Good night, and thank you for listening to the American Mind Grind.
People are strange when you're a stranger. Faces look ugly when you're alone.